pursuant to MGL C 30A 20F, after notifying the chair of the public body, any person may record or transmit this open meeting. This hybrid meeting is being recorded by the town of Stockbridge. The names and the members participating remotely will be announced. Any member of the public wishing to speak must first receive permission from the chair. The agenda items listed are those reasonably anticipated by the chair, but not all may be discussed, and other topics not listed may be brought up for discussion by the public body as permitted by law. I want everybody to say your name. Oh, Sally, can you hear me? I need someone to take the minutes. And I'm wondering if Sally,
Take minutes.
are you there?
Yes,
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I'll take minutes.
Thank
you. Hang
All
on,
right.
let me get something to write.
You can't remember this?
Just need something to write.
I was looking at it online. All right, go ahead.
All right. Why I called this meeting is because we have basically through the end of this year, to get into the select board or to the powers to be, what we want to have heard from us. And I just thought that I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page because I hadn't heard from the groups if you were working together on this. So I'm just going over what I have and asking, and so we can hopefully at the next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, come together with an agreement or a vote on an agreed statement of what we're going to say to what we're going to ask from the select board. And I'm going to start.
Before you go, I need to know who
Who is here? Yeah, I apologize, Sally. I lost my track of thought. Can everybody identify themselves, please? Lori, will you start?
Lori.
Louis Corman.
Bill Cedar.
Who's the phone?
Gary Kleinerman.
Michael Nathan.
You don't need to say who's in the building, but I do need to know who the phone is. The phone number is 610-457-0234. Who is that?
I have no idea.
Steve Aberbush. Steve Aberbush.
Oh, Steve.
Okay.
Okay. Steve, welcome. All right. So the first thing on the agenda that we were going to go over was the budget. Now, interestingly, I had a meeting with Michael Canales, and he told me that we don't present the budget to the select board. He will ask us in December what our budget should be or what we wish our budget should be. So we have a little time, but one of the things, whoever the group that's on the budget group, which is Phil and Don, Don and Phil and myself, or all of us, we should look at the bylaws, because the bylaws very clearly state what we should be doing. And many of the things that we should be doing require a budget or require some financing. And it really gives you a good roadmap as to what we will need for financial aid. I'm also in talking to several people who gave me great ideas. Patrick White gave me great ideas in general. And one of those is I'm turning to Sally to see if from an educational point, we can perhaps raise some money from CPC or get money from CPC. So Sally, if that's a possibility, if you could direct us on how that's done, it would be a great help and it would take a lot off my shoulders. I'm checking
with the folks at the Community Preservation Coalition to find
Uh-huh.
out exactly what the parameters are for using the admin funds. I know that they're supposed to be used for something that assists the committee in a project that's coming up, like informs us of things that we need to know in order to make a wise decision on a project that's coming before us. But I will let you know as soon as I hear back from Stuart Saganor, who's the director, about what because there's nothing written that I could find
Right,
how we use it. So I'll let you know.
right. And also, actually, well, I'll look into it. There's also, there could be funds outside of, for the, outside of the select board or the town treasury.
319 money,
Yeah, well,
non-point source water.
yeah, well, that's a whole, that's a major,
Yeah, but
yeah. I don't know. If you look into it, Gary was saying 319, which was something that was given to us many years ago, when we were working on the dredging. The other thing that was very interesting is we talked about perhaps, when I was speaking to Mike Canales, I was talking to him about the water testing and how the water testing, wanted to find out. I know it was started, Sally, you can correct me, it was started after the cyanobacteria issue and whether we should be testing, but we've been testing now for, I don't know, 5 years or 6 years or whatever. And there doesn't seem to be any difference in any of the tests. And we're spending $44,000 a year. The issue I asked Mike Canales is if some of that money can be diverted to other projects, i.e. water chestnuts or some other issue. And he said, no. He said, everything has to be done individually. You've got to ask for it. So if they spend less, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can get more. We have to identify what we want, and then the town will decide whether they'll give us that money. And so, so we should really be looking, we should try to get together, if you're in town, Phil, and with Don, and try to get together and sum up what we think we're going to ask or what we need from the select board. And that will be done in December because we don't go to the select board. Mike Canales says he sends a letter to all the committees and then we respond to what we need. Sally, is that how it works for you too?
Yeah, they send out, well, for Concom, they have a traditional budget of what we have spent, and they send it to us. We review it and decide whether it's current.
Okay, all right. So the second thing that we wanted to talk about is the lake management plan. And basically, we want to formalize that. And I'm just going to read to you some that I wanted either a vote on or change or whatever, so that I can go ahead and submit it to the select board. And I know that Sally, Lewis, and Tom are part of that group I was hoping that Sally might write up this motion, but let me just read to you what I wrote up, and it might be of some help, and it might just solve the problem.
I thought you'd already given it to the select board.
No, I didn't give it to the select board. I gave the voting. We haven't voted on asking them for this. Don't we need a vote for each individual thing, Sally?
Well, I thought I was under the impression that we had voted to present to ask the select board to do something about this, that they've had it for 2 or 3 years and they haven't.
No, we all agreed that they have to do something, but what we wanted to write or what we wanted to say was never. So let me just read this and then I'll go ahead and send it to them. So that'll take care of it. To ensure, I want the select board to ensure the water-based plan, AKA Lake Management Plan, is properly established. It must be formalized as an official town document, making it recognized policy for Stockbridge Bowl Lake Management. Once formalized, the Lake Management Plan will serve as a reference, providing clear guidelines and responsibility for its care and maintenance. I would just want to keep it simple. If you want me to reread that, let me know.
It's okay. You can send it to me.
I'll send it to you? Okay. All right. And okay. So that's the second thing. The third thing was Lily Brook that we want to discuss on how to approach the select board. And that's one that might be a little bit over my head of how to approach the select board. But I sent everybody a copy of the Stockbridge Watershed Survey done in 2012. And in it, it talks about Lily Brook. And in 2021, GZA, in its summary to the town of the Lake Management Plan, also expressed the town to establish a tech group to conduct comprehensive Lily Brook study and also to secure funding for this study. And that's basically what we need to do. I think it might be as simple as that, but I'm not sure. I asked Michael Canales, and I wasn't sure still how to handle it or how to do it because it's a complicated issue. Everyone is going, well, it may not be done. And I understand all that, but we got to start somewhere. And Lily Brook is so important if you read the survey and if you understand that it is higher, basically, all that silt is coming into the causeway to underneath the causeway. And if we do the restoration project, eventually it's going to fill in because of the Lily Brook, all that silt coming in. So we have to do something about that. And I just want to restart. The group is Gary, Phil, and myself. Phil, I think we're going to need you in town one of these days.
I'm happy to pick a date in the next week or two, and I'll make it up there in a week.
Sally, if you want to be part of that, of how to approach it from conservation point of view, just to get the ball rolling, but we got to get it on the agenda to select board.
Michael, isn't the approach to get the issue in front of the select board, talk to Canales about budgeting for a study, and from there, working with the study's results to make requests for the select board or the town to follow through on presumably the suggestions that are made.
No, I agree with you. What hangs me up is I don't know if we have to give an amount or just say we need funds for studies, or I'm not sure. So there's where I need help from Mr. Canales or from Sally or from somebody other than myself who has done this.
So,
Go ahead,
What are you thinking to do? Are you thinking you want to dredge Lily, the little fire pond? Is that what you're looking to do? So
Well,
that you get rid of the silt?
That's
My other observation is that, yes, there's a lot of silt coming through, but it's not going to go throughout the whole lake. It's going to be on the northeast corner.
right.
So it's not as though it's impacting the entire lake. It's just that one area. And should it be looked at? Absolutely. But, the process is going to be to file a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission, stating the reasons why you feel that this should be done, probably with some history as to when it was originally created and what's happened since then and when did it stop um, and those kinds of things. That so because you're going to have to make this, or we're going to have to make this a restoration project.
So before I say anything, Phil, you had your hand up. You want to say something?
No,
I'm sorry.
Somehow-
I meant Louis. Phil,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I think this ought to everything ought to be in the context of the lake management plan. And I know I maybe violated some principles of sending out a summary using one of the AI things of the main points of the lake management plan. And in one of the analyses is a discussion of the Lilybrook area. So if I think in a way that's the structural context in which we can make a proposal for budgetary support for an addendum to the lake management plan or an update to the lake management plan that extends what was done in 2012 to 2025-26. So Phil is basically saying the same thing, that we believe that this is a priority. According to the lake management plan, it wasn't dealt with. We would like funding to do some exploratory budgeting to find out what it would take to do an analysis in the context of the lake management plan. I think that's the way we can approach it. So step one is the lake management plan is accepted. Step two, our budgetary sort of the context for our budgetary requirements are the priorities within the lake management plan, which include education, dredging, Lilybrook, whatever they were. I think I don't have it in front of me. I think there were 4 or 5 things. And then we can prioritize what we want. And I'm happy to work with Sally and Tom to sort of flesh that out a little bit. And Lilybrook is in that.
Right.
So that's how we get the money. That's how we request funding to really expand the lake management plan, that section of the lake management plan that includes Lilybrook. So it's all done in this context of the lake management plan, and it's not sort of coming out from left field, like, oh, we just want to do this. I mean, that would be the way that I would consider a strategy for approaching this.
Sally, why do you think it has to go through conservation?
No, without a doubt.
So we have to go there first.
Well, I'm saying that's going to be part of the process. There's going to have to be an application. It's going to be a notice of intent for a restoration project. It's going to go to natural heritage because they're going to jump up and down. There's DEP has to review it. This is a major project, and like I said before, I personally have seen American bitterns in there, so there are endangered species. Those will have to be taken into account, and the case is going to have to be made that the restoration project is something that is necessary for the health of the lake.
Right. Sally, I just want to answer your question of what I had in mind. Everything everyone is saying is really a correct way of going out. What I had in mind was perhaps as an accommodation to DEP and to NHESP or whatever it is in order to get this, is that we do a limited restoration on Lilybrook. In other words, just enough, an engineer would tell us just enough to keep the silt at a certain level that doesn't go beyond the causeway. In other words, like it was done before 1970 or whenever it was, that every year they came with a few truckloads or backhoes and they just took enough to keep it healthy. It wasn't like taking the whole thing. It wasn't like going down and whatever, enough that it's healthy without disrupting the natural vegetation or the natural whatever, or limiting a destruction of it or a hazard. It was just something that I think we should be looking at because, as you say, it's almost senseless. That part will fill in, and it may take years, but it will fill in again.
Isn't step one to dimension this, which we're going to need professional help to do?
Yeah,
We're in 2025 now, and the information, while we can do a one-pager on this issue about its history and the issue, we don't have a sense of flow and dimensions. So, Michael, your idea of doing only a modest amount is, we don't know how to characterize that at this point without
I
help.
agree. Yeah,
So we've got to come up, is GZA the professionals of choice for a study like this? Because it may pay in the next month or so to have a beginning conversation to dimension what they think it would cost. So you can have that December conversation with Canales.
in my conversation yesterday, I don't think GZA is the company he wants to go to for this.
Okay, I defer to everybody on that.
Yeah,
one. I just
yeah,
don't-
I believe that's, if I remember right, there were a lot of conversations, but when it came to this, I think he did not talk about GZA going to this. And I told him that I had the name of an engineering company that bid against GZA when originally the restoration company called Apex Engineering. I'm hoping they're still around. And I will give him that information.
You know, we may want to look at this project as one, we would never be able to go into the Lilybrook Delta area.
Right.
And clean it up. But we do have the ability to catch what's coming through the pipe or catch it before it's coming through the pipe. You know, at the causeway. We may want to look at that because I think anything else is going to be prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, so my issue is I don't know how to word it. So Phil, if you want to get together with Lily and Sally and figure out how to word this, and I will definitely pass it on to the select board. And when they call on us, one of you three will be there with me. Is that something that can be done?
What you're describing is what, a one-pager to tee this issue up for the select board
Yes,
prior to retaining somebody and prior to getting on track with a recommendation,
Yeah.
but just simply to, as a courtesy to them, to say this is on our priority list. And
well, no, I think even a little more than the courtesy, more of the importance of funding well, how would Michael, hold on a second, a study, we need to fund some kind of study to see how to, what's the word? Not fix it per se, to
Deal with it.
deal with or remediate, is that the right word? This, but it doesn't have to be, if we tell them we're doing this as a courtesy to let you know we're working on it, it's just kicking the can down the road. We got to start it at some point.
So Michael, do we need to know approximately what the cost would be?
No,
They're
I
gonna-
don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think
would
we're
it-
going,
If
if they
that's,
say, oh,
well,
go
if
ahead.
it's part of our budget,
No, that won't be part of our budget. That'll be part of the town budget.
okay.
The town will put the money up for that. We can recommend it. Our budget would be more for limnologists to teach us
Okay.
things that we need for ourselves.
But we have to make a case that the town needs to fund this.
Yes. And I think it's not a difficult case, hopefully, but it's a case that we got to start the ball rolling. Like Mike said, this could take a long time. And I said, well, we got to start today. We got to start at some time to get
So
this thing done.
maybe it's more than a one pager, Phil?
that's fine. I mean, there's some information in what Michael sent around earlier in the day. There's some basic
Right.
statements we've made in this phone call, which can be added to it. And then it really is hard to specify what the dimensions of the project are.
Right.
We have a sense of what the cost structure might be in doing the study.
You just have
Basically,
to make a good
yeah.
case for it.
The case is there for it. Whether they
Right.
want to accept it, I mean, the case is pretty obvious.
Right, but we need to
Yeah.
substantiate it, I would assume, in
Well,
whatever.
it's in so many documented, we substantiate it because there's so many documented studies. And even GZA in their lake management say we should be looking at this.
So maybe that needs to go in that.
Whatever, yeah, so I leave
Whatever that
that,
presentation is, Phil, maybe that can go as an addendum or a whatever, just to be supportive data for them.
I'm happy to come up with some draft that we put before the select board to tee up this need.
right.
And if I'm hearing you correctly, Michael, you're suggesting that it is not necessary to drop this into the December budget discussions with Canales, since it's a town expenditure and not necessarily the SBSC's?
Exactly. It has nothing to do, it's not our money. This is, this is a town, we're advising the town to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, to look at this because it really goes with the restoration project. As Lewis said,
And this needs to be done by December?
I'd like it to be by December to get on to, yeah, to get, you know what? I want to get it out of the way. I want to do it
Okay,
and get it done. If it's done 80% correctly, it's an A. It gets it going, and then they may have further questions, and then we'll go from there.
okay.
Okay, I'll cobble something together, that's
Yeah.
fine, and then
And if you need help, call me and we'll talk, or Sally or Lewis.
I'm happy to do that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Sally, as the expert on open meeting law.
Yeah.
Is it okay to distribute a draft to everybody, or do we have to keep it under the quorum?
You can distribute the draft. No one can comment on it.
Got it.
Right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, all you guys. The last one, which I did, Sally, which I did send to is on a week from today, the select board is going to discuss our submission of a addition to the bylaw or a change of the bylaw that all members can vote. One of the, I don't want to make it more complicated. Go
They're
ahead.
meeting tonight, aren't they?
No, it's next, I think it's next week.
Okay.
I hope, or else I'm going to miss the meeting.
It was a November date. I remember.
Yeah, it was a November date. Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things is we also wanted to put in the, I don't want to open up a can of worms, but we wanted to also add the word safety to our mission statement. And I'm wondering if at the same time I should just throw that in. But right now, what I asked them to do is to change the bylaws that basically states, let me see how I phrased it, that basically states that all members of the Stockbridge Bowl Stewardship Committee can vote. And but that's already on their agenda. So just letting you know, the other things are not. So pretty much that's what I had on my mind to talk to you about. I'm sure I'm going to miss something but does anybody have any questions or clear up anything that I'm making more confusing than need be?
It's Louis. I opened up the watershed management. There's a lot of context in this document, which is 2022, that refers to Lily Brook. And I think that Phil would do well to sort of take some of the content from here, and I'm happy to help, and some of the content from 2012 to really make to advise the board that they need to allocate resources to reassessing the Lily Brook area in the context of the watershed management and the dredging plan.
Yeah,
And
so
that-
don't,
and that's really what we're asking. Because we don't know the magnitude of the problem. We don't know whether it's just taking out some of the silt so the, causeway is not filled with silt, or really is extending the watershed management, dredging, et cetera, lake management plan to include the Lily Brook area, which the plan doesn't really explicitly do. Further recommendation included an evaluation of road and contributions from the causeway separating the Lily Brook. I mean, there's a lot of things that were recommended here. There are if you just do a word search for Brook, there's a lot of content related to Lily Brook, which doesn't seem to be part of the plan for going forward.
I will do that, Louis. I found that the lake management plan is very easy to word search. So it's easy to follow through and see where the pieces are distributed in that long document.
yeah.
You
And
can-
that, I apologize, who's talking?
No, I'm okay. I was only going to suggest.
Just make sure that when you read these things, you separate Lily Brook from from the pond, from the east side and the west side. Because the current restoration project on the map is really dredging on the west side of the causeway and not on the and not where we're talking about. Just maybe I'm just redundant, but here Lily Brook is by far the lake's largest tributary. So it really is probably the largest area where silt is coming in. There are other tributaries, like people will say, well, there's this tributary there. Absolutely, but the main issue is the Lily Brook.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? And I'll see 2 weeks. I think in 2 weeks we have a meeting. The 13th. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming, really. I know that I called this. I just wanted to make sure that because of the time, we only have one meeting a month, theoretically. I called for 2 this month. I just wanted to make sure for my own peace of mind that we were all working on the same page. And going forward so that we can all enjoy the winter and not have this hanging over our heads.
Michael, I assume you'll be at the meeting next week?
At the select board.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I will be there. Yeah,
So
All right.
I just have an update on the boat ramp.
yeah,
Concom passed it. We didn't love it, but we passed it
okay,
because the constraints that are put on Fish and Game are pretty significant. And they did a lot of work toward improving the drainage around or coming down from the road that as of now goes right into the lake. They balked at a few things, but generally speaking, everybody thought that the compromise that we came up with was pretty good. We're gonna plant some trees along the sides, and maybe some down nearer the lake. There are going to be plantings along the lake, but and so part of that area that's now grass is going to be cordoned off for a while the new plantings get established. I imagine we're going to get a few or maybe a lot of complaints. But I think in the long run, it's going to be as good as we're going to get.
Sally, can I ask you, will there be areas for sitting, like the people
No.
where they sit now?
Nope.
Really?
I don't know if they're planning to remove, at one point they were saying they were planning to remove the benches. We have to accept the fact that this is boating and fishing access. That is what it's there for. It is not there for recreation. It is not there for playing with your grandchildren. It is not there for picnicking. It is not there for all those things that people have been doing for a long time. That is not how it is seen by the state. And like it or lump it, that's the way it is. So they will increase handicapped access to the lake. It is going to impact that whole area, and we should be prepared.
Wow.
It's gonna be.
That's really sad, I think.
Yeah.
Sally,
No.
does somebody monitor that? Is somebody gonna monitor it to make sure people aren't sitting there?
No,
Well, apparently, there, unbeknownst to almost everybody in the world, there was an agreement that was signed by the select board right before Michael and Canales came on board. So it was the interim town manager, whose name I have forgotten, who signed this into, or who got this going, and the select board signed off on it. And then they presented it to town meeting. We paid for it. The problem has been all along that I don't think that the residents or anybody else understood what the ramifications of this installation of this kayak launch were going to be, or how monstrous it was going to be because of the requirements under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and how the pathway has to be only at a specified slope, and there has to be room for turning radiuses and other things like that. So it's a big regulatory requirement, both on the from the ADA point of view, but also from the Fish and Game point of view. It is
Sad.
that
That's really sad.
we'll deal with it.
well, we're gonna have to
We'll deal with
make
it.
peace with it.
No, you know,
But
many
the-
of us,
But the agreement between the town and the state was signed without anybody's knowledge. Concom never heard it as to who was responsible for what. So for the last 5 years, nobody's really known who's supposed to be doing what there, or at least they haven't, because the town has a lot more responsibility for the day-to-day care of the boat ramp than we previously thought. People thought that it was the state is state property, therefore it's their responsibility, but town is supposed to take care of the trash. They're supposed to monitor who's there. They're supposed to monitor what they're doing there. This is supposed to be a town thing. And the guy from the state, Terry Smith, suggested that the zebra mussel monitors should be doing this. And I reiterated about 15 times during the course of the meetings that the zebra mussel monitors were there for monitoring the zebra mussels, and that they were not supposed to be the town cops.
right, but I don't want to get into a discussion with you because you're doing the best you can. It's just very sad that, the public, they don't have anywhere else really to sit and just look at the lake.
You are correct.
It's such a beautiful spot for people. It's serene, it's relaxing. It's important. I'm amazed. Anyway, does anyone, Sally, thanks for the report. Minutes. We all received the minutes, but let's vote on it next meeting. Because I had a few questions on the minutes. I didn't really get to review it. So I'm going to call this meeting, adjourn this meeting. Does anyone second it?
Second.
The chair is not supposed to make a motion.
All right, thank you, Sally.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right.
All in favor.
Can I say?
Sally, we
can I say
we
the-
have to do roll call because we're on Zoom. Aye, Sally.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Louis.
Bill?
But then you have to vote.
I'm non-voting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh. And we all,
Okay.
all right. See you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.